Good evening and welcome to Jurgensen Park here at Creighton Prep as we continue on with the baseball season here on the CP Sports Network. Tonight, it's the #1 ranked Creighton Prep Junior Jays hosting the Monarchs from Papio and La Vista High School. Tyler Reedy and Brendan Preisman here on the call. And Brendan, perfect Wednesday evening to be doing some baseball.
Oh, yeah, it was really rainy, really misty earlier, around 4 or 5 o'clock. It was not great weather, but the skies have cleared up, and so too have the Junior Jays' fortunes after a rough stretch earlier this year after returning from St. Louis, in which they lost back-to-back games to Bellevue West and Millard South. They've only lost once since then. That was yesterday to Burke, but the team certainly seems prepared, or twice, since then. One of those losses, a fairly inexplicable one to Burke last night, 11-5. Parker Mooney, one of the team's star infielders, got ejected during that game, but team is whole and healthy today, or as whole as healthy as they can be when you get this late in the season, and they're ready to go.
So let's take a look at how the Junior Jays have been rolling as of late. Going back to that Metro Conference tournament you alluded to, Junior Jays were the champions of that one over Easter weekend, and boy did they ever hit. Creighton Prep averaged 13 runs per game over the 4 tournament games, allowed 13 total runs defensively. Incredible effort pulling away from teams early in games. Only close one was the Papio South second round game, 8-7 walk-off win there with the Jack Thiele single. Prep also an OPS well north of 1,000, 12.05. Incredible effort in the Metro tournament for Creighton Prep in that one.
Yes, certainly. I mean, a lot of different guys have played roles for this team, and as you mentioned, the offense has just been incredible. Scored 13 or more runs in 3 different Metro tournament games. And then you've got the defense as well. The defense has been really solid recently, as has the pitching. Prep currently 12-0 when they hold their opponents to 5 runs or below. And with the team rolling like this, you do have to wonder if that state title that the guys have been talking about since the beginning of the year is perhaps in the cards.
Yeah, and that defense you mentioned, the defense you see now on the screen is a big deal, especially with the way Papio and La Vista has struggled throughout the year to score. Papio only 2 games out of their 16 total with 7 or more runs scored offensively, so going to need to find some way to crack Creighton Prep here tonight, but that'll be much more difficult with Parker Mooney returning to the lineup after serving the 1-game absence after his ejection on Monday at Rockhurst. He's back, and he has been phenomenal for the Junior Jays this season. As you see, 28 runs scored from that second batting position in the lineup and a batting average that's nearly 500, 456. Mooney has been a big force near the top of that order for Creighton Prep.
And it's nice, too, because a lot of the time what you're going to want from your guys at the top of the order is just getting on base. Not necessarily hitting for the fences or trying to crank out extra base hits, just getting on base. And Mooney does a great job at that. 26 hits, 11 walks on the year, an on-base percentage of nearly .570, which is close to tops on the team behind just Sam Ryberg. So he's definitely a guy who can get on base a lot, and Prep's going to use him a lot as well. Another guy who can get on base, of course, is Elliot Peterson, who's having an incredible season of his own.
Yeah, hitting right behind Mooney in that lineup. Mooney's in the 2 spot, Peterson in the 3 hole, and for good reason. He drives in runs like nobody else on the team can, leads the team with 25 runs batted in this year, also leads in hits, doubles, home runs, slugging percentage, and OPS. Peterson has been the full package this year for the Junior Jays.
He absolutely has, and it's really just great to see how wonderful the offense has been. Just scrolling down the list of guys we've got, except for Ryan Bauer, who hasn't really hit a lot. His batting average is 500 right now, but Prep's got, like 7 or 8 guys batting at or above 300, which is really incredible to have this late in the year. Normally the bats will cool off as teams start to scout better, but the team as a whole is hitting 342 and only giving up a batting average of .196. So a really good hitting team, a really good defensive team, and it's all coming together at the right time for the Junior Jays.
Starting pitchers for tonight's game, Creighton Prep throws Ryan Bauer out there for this one, and for Papio and La Vista, Matthew Chandler. We'll be back in a moment to bring you starting lineups and first pitch here at Jurgensen Park. Back here at Jurgensen Park, about ready for first pitch between number 1 Creighton Prep and Papillion La Vista. Tyler Reedy and Brennan Preisman bringing you the call here on the CP Sports Network. And for the Junior Jays, it'll be right-hander Ryan Bauer on the mound. And Brennan, he has been a horse as of late for Creighton Prep, throwing 103 pitches and 91 pitches respectively in his last 2 outings against Blue Springs and Papillion La Vista South, looking to improve on his 2.10 ERA and 3-0 record on the season.
Mm-hmm. And that 2.10 ERA, as you mentioned, I mean, it may not seem spectacular, but that's among the best on the team. The only guys with more innings pitched who have lower ERAs are Robert O'Malley and Jamison Harris, respectively. Or, excuse me, Harris has less innings pitched, but Bauer already tied for the most innings pitched on the team with Robert O'Malley, both at 23.1. Bauer has given up more hits than O'Malley, but he's also walked a lot fewer guys. And he has given up more hits, yes, but he's been able to mitigate that damage quite effectively. And he's 3-0 for a reason, looking to make it 4-0 and tie the wins lead on this team tonight.
Look at the Papillion La Vista Monarchs batting order here for this one. They'll lead off with number 22, Luke Saxton, the second baseman. Then the center fielder, number 2, Jake Franks. The designated hitter, number 44, Braden Jones, bats third. Tanner Apgar, the first baseman, at cleanup. Jack Burke, the shortstop, fifth. Isaiah O'Brien, the left fielder, sixth. Zach Reyes, the catcher, is seventh. Jackson Vetter, the third baseman, is eighth. And Dominic DeMauro, the right fielder, rounds it out at the bottom of the order. We are ready to go for baseball here at Jurgensen Park.
And Tyler, the Monarchs are definitely going to have to get started early. 5 straight games now that they haven't cracked a 5-run barrier, which Prep is normally very good at exploiting.
Bauer's first pitch is low and away to Saxton. Junior Jays come in at 17-4 on the season. Metro Conference Tournament champions, as that one is fouled back and out of play. And the count even at 1-1.
And that's what Bauer likes to do. He likes to work the count a lot, and he's very successful when he does so. Only 8 walks to 28 strikeouts on the year. Ryan Bauer, when he gets late in the count, is about as good as any pitcher on the Prep staff.
1-1 is inside to Saxton, and the count runs to 2-1. Look at the numbers on the season for the Monarch leadoff man. Batting .333, leads the team in hits with 16 as he yanks that one down the left field line and foul. 2-2 now.
And see, this is where you want to be careful if you're Luke Saxton, because Bauer is definitely going to try and make him chase here. Got 2-2. Definitely a pitcher's count. So if you're Saxton, you want to be careful here not to chase anything that's pretty close to out of the zone. If it's down the middle, then you take it and you live with what you get. But if it's outside the zone, there's no reason to go swinging here. You still got another ball to hold.
2-2 from Bauer. On the ground to short. Summers charges, has time, and he didn't get him.
Wow.
Saxton, the leadoff man, speeding down the line. Summers, I said he had time, but before I knew it, Saxton was already at first base, and an infield hit, hustle hit to get things started for the Monarchs.
And that's the beauty of having a leadoff guy who can run really well. Prep's got that in Sam Ryberg, who's got 20 steals on the year. But when you get a speed guy like Luke Saxton on base, that makes life a lot easier for your next batters because now Bauer's got the guy on first in the back of his mind. Ooh.
So that one low and outside to the center fielder, Jake Franks. He bats second for Papio, carrying an average of .279. Team leader in runs scored with 12. Has driven in 4 on the season. .1-0 from Bauer. Catches the outside. And that evens it up at 1-1. Papio trying to avoid a double play here. The third baseman for the Junior Jays, Kobe Hatcher, is playing well in, potentially expecting a bunt to the left side.
Yeah, and you definitely want to be careful here if you're Papio not to give an easy grounder up the middle because after getting a guy on base, as Bauer throws it back, you do want to make sure that even if one guy gets out, you've still got another guy on base.
After the unsuccessful pickoff move, here comes the 1-1 from Bauer, scoring to bunt again, but Franks pulls it back, and the count now runs to 2-1.
And it looks like Bauer's really kind of taking his time painting the zones, a real methodical pitcher, he wants to make sure that he knows what all these guys will and won't swing at. As you mentioned, he's got the ability to go really deep into these games. So if he knows what they're going to swing at, he can exploit that in later innings.
High bouncing bunt, fielded in front of the plate by Ryan. He gets the out at first. Saxton moves up to second, and there's one down in the top of the first.
Well, not necessarily the worst case scenario for the Junior Jays, but with a man on and one out as Braden Jones comes up, you do want to be careful. You want to make sure you have that guy in the back of your mind.
Braden Jones digs in for the Monarchs. Batting average of .288. 11 runs batted in to lead the team, and the Monarchs could use another one from him here to get things going early on. Bauer's first delivery to him is cut on and missed. Strike one, went off speed.
And getting ahead in the count is going to be key here for Bauer, because with a man on second, only one out, you can bet that Jones is going to have a little more pop in the bat. But now that he's behind in the count, he's got to be a little more careful, weigh his options a little bit more than he normally would.
The 0-1 finds the strike zone, and Ryan with a back pick attempt over to second base, but Saxton's back in safely. It is 0-2. Conditions tonight are perfect for baseball. Slight breeze blowing out to center and right center field, but not much to consider in terms of the wind. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Bauer looking for some heat and gain a strikeout here. But time is called before the pitch. Bauer has struck out at least 4 batters in each of his outings. He's made 5 appearances this year, pitched 23 1/3 innings.
And those 28 strikeouts, he earned all of them. And counts like this is where he's at his best.
That one is laced foul to the right side up on the roof. Jones stays alive for another 0-2. Saxton started the inning on a 2-strike infield single to short. Moved up to second base on the sacrifice bunt by Franks. And now Jones looking to drive him in. Another 0-2 from Bauer. Catches the outside corner. Strike 3 called. A big backwards K for Bauer in the first inning. And there are 2 down.
That's number 29 on the year for Bauer. And what a sequence of pitches that was. Looking like Shohei Ohtani currently got 9 Ks through 4 innings pitched. Right now is Ryan Bauer. But that is exactly how you want to start off a game. Now you've got 2 down, with, I believe, Tanner Apgar up to the plate. And that's exactly the situation you want to be in if you're Ryan Bauer.
First pitch to Apgar, off speed. He's working that outside corner very effectively, and he's got another first pitch strike. Apgar batting .283 on the season. He's driven in 8. However, leads the team in strikeouts with 13. .0-1 from Bauer. Swing and a miss. Went with a high heat. Blew it right by him to get it to 0-2.
Bauer's found his rhythm. Started off with Saxton and Franks a little bit cautious, but he has not thrown a ball since he got that sacrifice bunt out of Jake Franks. Nothing but strikes right now for Ryan Bauer. That is, I believe, 6 consecutive. He's looking to make it 7 here.
And looking to put away the inning. 0-2, swing and a miss. He went upstairs again, and the top of the first is done. Prep coming to bat when we return in the bottom of the first. 16 pitches, 12 for strikes, as we see Matthew Chandler on the mound for the Monarchs. He fires a first pitch strike. Chandler comes in with 7 innings pitched on the season. He struggled, going 0-2 with an ERA of 9, but he gets ahead of Ryberg 0-2.
And that's not a great way for Prep to start out this inning because Ryberg has been really successful at getting on base all year. Last night against Burke, 4 hit by pitches for the senior outfielder. Got an on-base percentage of .591. Basically 6 out of 10 times he's going to get on base. And that one might get him on base. Holy cow.
Lifted high in the air to right center, but it's run down out there by Franks. So it carried pretty well, almost to the warning track, but Ryberg is retired on 3 pitches. That brings up Parker Mooney, returning after missing the Burke loss last night because of the ejection on Monday at Rockhurst.
A little bit of a collision with a catcher there, but collision that's been far more likely is bat on ball for Parker Mooney. 26 hits on the year. And
great sliding catch on the bunt attempt as Mooney popped it up. And Tanner Apgar came racing in to make the play. And on 4 pitches, Chandler has 2 outs.
Well, this is exactly what you want if you're a guy like Matthew Chandler. You mentioned he's struggled through the 7 innings he's pitched so far. But now 2 guys up, 2 guys down for Creighton Prep, and on just 4 pitches, this is exactly what you want from Papio. Maybe they didn't get anything across in the first inning, but if they can make sure Prep doesn't either, that'd be huge.
Ball 1 upstairs to Elliot Peterson, coming in with a batting average of .453. Team leader in doubles, homers, and RBI, 12, 3, and 25 respectively. As the count evens up at 1-1 on a called strike.
And Peterson, definitely a guy who is dangerous to pitch to, even more dangerous to pitch around. 14 walks, 29 hits on the year. And as you mentioned, the 25 RBI tops on the team. Issue right now, though, is nobody on the bases for Peterson to clear. He's going to have to do it himself, but leads the team in extra base hits with 15. That is something he could easily do.
1-2 is just off the outside edge. Chandler wanted it, but instead the count runs to 2-2, and Chandler off to a great start in terms of throwing strikes. 8 pitches, and just like Ryan Bowers, 75% of them have gone for strikes.
And you can tell that Chandler's getting more confident, too, because,
tomahawked into left field, and Elliot Peterson stays hot. He's got another base hit, and that extends his hitting streak to 11 games with 2 outs.
And that's exactly what you want to see from Elliot Peterson. His 30th hit on the year, which, going down the Prep lineup real quick, does lead the team. So a nice lace into left field for him there. And that brings up Grant Hatcher, who's also been a very good RBI man on the year with 16.
Swing at the first pitch, grounder to second. That's Saxton to Burke as they go to shortway. And the first inning is done. We are scoreless going to the second.
No.
Back here for the top of the second inning,
Nothing
scoreless
personal.
through the first. As Ryan Bauer back on the mound after a 16-pitch first. Jack Burke, the 5-hitter, leads it off for Papillion La Vista. Burke has been a bright spot for the Monarchs in this relatively losing season, leading the team in slugging percentage at .529 as he watches the first pitch strike, also leading in OPS, getting close to 1,000 at .984.
It's pretty good. Uh-oh.
That pitch wasn't great from Bauer as
No.
it sails over Ryan's glove, and it's even at 1-1. Burke was one of the lone bright spots in Monday's 12-2 loss to Lincoln East. Went 2 for 2 with a walk and scored a run. And he takes a low pitch from Bauer to make it 1-2. Ryan Bauer definitely seems to be hitting his spots early on. Already a couple strikeouts, chance for a third.
Yeah, we've seen him go low and inside a lot. And a lot of these guys, especially on the lefties, it's working really well.
Slapped down the left field line. That one foul up against the chain fence. And Burke will see another pitch at 1-2. Bauer steps off for a while. Brendan, what have you thought of his timing so far in this one? Seems like he's been in a pretty good rhythm.
Oh, yeah, he definitely has. I mean, he's, like I said a little bit with Matthew Chandler, working on finding the batter's weak spots where they will and won't swing and then exploiting those when they come up later. And it looks like he's found those swinging spots early.
Chopper to second. Parker Mooney makes the play with ease. And there's one down in the second inning.
And that's what you want to see if you're Ryan Bauer. Pretty low pitch inning, at least relatively for him. Only 16 pitches. As you mentioned, he's gone 90-plus pitches in both of his last 2 outings. But if he can get to the 4th or the 5th and he's still at 70 or 80 pitches, that'll be really nice for his arm, especially as we head into districts.
First pitch is ripped through the legs of the third base coach and foul. That's Isaiah O'Brien, the left fielder. When you talk about Bauer, you definitely notice how consistent he's been for the Junior Jays on the mound. He's pitched at least 4 innings and allowed no more than 3 earned runs in each of his 4 starts. And he hits the inside corner with a beautiful pitch to make it 0-2.
Yeah, he's been going inside on a lot of these guys, and you could see O'Brien turned away. It looked like that ball was coming towards his shoulders for a second. But the inside pitches of Bauer have been deadly.
And another high heater to get a swinging strikeout. O'Brien is sent back to the dugout.
It's
And
number
a quick 2
3.
outs.
It's number 3 on the year for Ryan Bauer. Make it 31 for him, which ties Robert O'Malley for tops on the team.
So now Zach Reyes digs in.
Oh.
And he got a sword from Reyes. Ugly check swing as Bauer went low and away for strike 1.
And you mentioned the strikes and balls earlier, Tyler. 75% of the pitches for Bauer in the first were strikes. That is just his second ball of the inning as well off of his 10th pitch. So been very consistent, which you like to see, but he's definitely hitting his spots very well.
1-1 pitch.
Oh.
Locked him up with a beautiful off-speed pitch to make it 1-2.
The off-speed inside is just really killing the Monarchs right now. You see him like turn away from the plate a lot of these times. They just can't hit him right now.
Bauer wasting no time, and that one fouled back into the screen by Reyes, who's
That knocked a leaf off the netting.
Yep, Reyes batting .256 coming into the ball game. 4 walks, 11 strikeouts, trying to, at the very least, battle against Ryan Bauer here and get his pitch count up as he pops this one straight in the air out behind second. That'll be Holmstrom's ball in center field, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Bauer. We are scoreless, heading to the bottom of the second. We're back here for the bottom of the second inning. Zeros on the board between Creighton Prep and Papio and La Vista. Kobe Hatcher, the third baseman, looking to change that against Matthew Chandler as he leads off the bottom of the frame. Hatcher batting .382 coming in with 24 RBI, but he swings and misses and ends up in the other batter's box for strike one.
And Chandler continuing to pitch very well. And this has almost certainly already been one of the better outings of his season as he now gets ahead 0-2 on Kobe Hatcher. But both the pitchers, except for a couple of hard-hit balls into the outfield, one from Sam Ryberg, one from Zach Reyes, and then two infield singles, they've basically been untouchable. Oh.
0-2 is inside to Hatcher. He is a very tough strikeout. He's only struck out once in his last 37 plate appearances. That's an incredible streak he's been on. Had a great Metro tournament as well. 7 of 12 with 5 runs batted in the 4 games. And he held up. Or did he? No, he did not. It was a delayed appeal over to first base, but finally it was ruled a swing.
Didn't check it.
And that brings Summers to the plate.
So a 4-pitch out from Matthew Chandler. And he's working his way through the center of the prep order, which has been spectacular all year, really easily.
Fires high on the first one to the shortstop, Grant Summers, carrying a .367 average. 8 extra base hits on the year, 2 of them home runs. He's also driven in 20 as he takes low to make it 2-0.
And now, 2-0. That's the worst count Chandler's faced as a pitcher since it was 1-0 to Elliot Peterson in the first. But he's going to bounce back nicely with a curveball.
Takes on the outside, and it's 2-1. Summers went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts last night. One of the few rough offensive games he's had this year, as that one got in on his hands and he chops it foul. Count now runs to 2-2.
Got to be careful here if you're Grant Summers. Matthew Chandler is clearly pitching with gas right now, and you want to be careful not to get too far under or over a ball, but he did there.
Chops it. Summers can run. It's a tough play at second, and they didn't get him. That was all Saxton could do, as Summers was screaming down the first base line, and he's got himself a 2-strike infield hit.
Those infield hits, the only hits Prep has gotten on the day. Elliot Peterson had a nice little chopper to third in the first, and now that chopper to second from Summers. But if Prep's going to win this game by a significant amount, as they have been doing against so many teams, they're going to have to get a ball out of the infield sooner or later.
Zach Ryan takes up and away for ball 1. Batting .186 on the season, looking to turn things around in a big way down the stretch before Creighton Prep heads into districts and what they hope and expect to be a long state tournament run as the pickoff try is late.
So that's now 2 pickoff attempts in a row for Chandler, and he's... Oh.
We got a balk.
Oh, they're calling a balk. Oh, boy.
So that will send Summers down to second base, as we'll have
Chandler
McCabe out to talk.
Chandler probably a little rattled at having allowed a batter on base again. But this is what you want if you're Creighton Prep. Zach Ryan, maybe not necessarily a power hitter, but he does still have 8 RBIs on the year. And he's walked 5 times as well. So just him getting on base or even getting another one of those infield singles, that is not necessarily a bad thing for Prep. Ryan doesn't need to swing for the fences here. Just as long as he's able to advance either himself or Summers, that should be exactly what Prep needs.
The 1-0 coming from Chandler. Cut on and miss. Ryan with a big swing, and it's even at 1-1. Zach Ryan is a guy with good gap-to-gap power. If he drives something between the outfielders on either side, Summers will easily score. Just a matter of getting it in play, like you said.
Yeah, he's got 3 extra base hits on the year. Making it 4 would be huge.
Lifted out of play to the right side. And the count now 1-2. Kobe Hatcher led off the inning with a swinging strikeout. Summers reached on an infield hit to second
Mm-hmm.
and went to second on a balk.
And, you know, for how dominant Chandler has been, it's impressive that he's only got 1 strikeout. He's doing a great job at – oh,
Ryan
there's the second.
swings and misses for the strikeout. He's had 3 consecutive games with 2 Ks coming in. And he's on his way halfway to that one as he'll go back to the dugout, and Jack Stessman will look to pick him up with 2 down.
And that is Bauer's 19th strikeout on the year. Leads the team, but that category maybe not one you want to be leading your team in.
Lefty-lefty matchup. Sees a first pitch ball from Chandler. Stessman, a .245 hitter on the year, has driven in 9.
Mm-hmm.
Creighton Prep hoping he can drive home his 10th for the 1-0 lead. And he didn't go, but it didn't matter, 1-1.
And drawing a walk would be nice too. Stessman, a very patient hitter. He's got 16 walks on the year, near tops on the team. So if he can just hold off Chandler for a little bit and get a favorable count, that's where he's at his best.
Looped into center, and Franks barely has to move. He puts it away, and the second inning is done. Scoreless as we go to the third.
No errors. 1 left on base.
Back here for the top of the third inning, Creighton Prep and Papio La Vista firing blanks in the first 2 frames as Ryan Bauer goes back to work for the Junior Jays. First pitch is inside, ball 1 to the third baseman, Jackson Vetter.
And a shocker that pitch is inside. Inside is basically all Bauer's been throwing for most of today, and it works pretty well normally, but on that case, Vetter patient and holds. And now 1-1 count. Nice pitch from Bauer going outside corner for a change.
Now 1-1. Bauer's pitch misses outside, and now 2-1 to Vetter, the third baseman. Comes into the game with an average of 176. Only 1 walk on the year, so has certainly been a put the ball in play kind of guy.
Oh.
He's taking patiently, and he's got the count to 3-1.
You know, ordinarily I'd wonder if it was this intentional walk, but as you said, Vetter hitting just 176, the 8th man in the lineup for the Monarchs. Oh, an intentional walk here really doesn't make a lot of sense, so I wonder if Bauer's just lost a bit of control.
High chop to third. That stays fair. The throw is on a bounce, and it's not in time from Hatcher. And it's another infield hit. Second time we've seen it for the Monarchs. Vetter is on to lead off the third.
And it looked like maybe Kobe Hatcher might have mishandled that ball just a little bit. I saw a tiny bit of a juggle. Had to bounce it across the diamond as Vetter basically hit it right towards third base. But you mentioned firing blanks. But blanks, sometimes they work out for you, as they have for the Monarchs, and now Prep twice for both teams. The only base runners have been off of infield singles.
That's actually going to be scored an error on Hatcher at third. Ball one low to Dominic DeMauro, the right fielder. I thought it was a curious decision from Kobe, knowing that spin on the ball down the line would easily push it foul had he let it go. And if it does go foul, that brings the count to 3-2. And you probably trust your starter Ryan Bauer against a 176 hitter in that spot, but Hatcher felt confident in his play, but couldn't make it.
Yeah. Or he could do what that one Mariners player did, and it was like Lenny somebody and blow the ball foul.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be legal. We've already seen several ejections this year for the Junior Jays. I don't know if you'd get ejected for something like that, but provide for good theatrics as the
Certainly
pickoff
would.
try is late again. 1-0 still to count. Dominic DeMauro, the right fielder, 387, the batting average on the year, and from that 9th spot, almost acts as a second top of the order leadoff hitter type of guy as he takes low to make it 2-0. Bauer has allowed just one hit. It was the infield single by Saxton to lead off the game. He has struck out 3 ever since. As there's a bunt caught at third by Hatcher. And Vetter gets back safely. And you can see Hatcher was halfway down the line for that one.
Yeah, Prep's been expecting the bunts. Jake Franks tried one in the first inning after Luke Saxton got on base with a single. And Kobe Hatcher was ready for that as well. No, it was actually the catcher, Zach Ryan, who made the play on the bunt. But Prep's definitely been very prepared for the bunts.
Big swing and a foul tip for strike one. That's Luke Saxton, the top of the order. He reached on the infield single, but advanced no further than second base in the first inning. Ryan Bauer has thrown 37 pitches, 26 for strikes. And you can make it 27.
Whoa.
Looks like it's been a bit of a generous outside corner from the home plate umpire tonight, but Bauer will take it.
Well,
It's 0-2.
back when he was dealing with Vetter, he threw 3 pitches almost all the way outside, but looks like he's found his rhythm with that outside corner. Was working inside a lot in the first 2 innings, but now appears to be adding a bit of outside to the repertoire.
Lifted, out of play to the right side, and it remains an 0-2 count. Bauer on the hunt for his 4th strikeout of the game.
Up 0-2, and against Saxton, who he forced into the infield single earlier, definitely possible for him to get the strikeout, especially against a guy who's got 4 strikeouts on the year already.
0-2 is ripped deep into left field. Ryberg going back, and it's gone. Home run. 2-run shot for Saxton. He's now 7 for his last 12, and the Monarchs lead 2-0.
And what a shot by Luke Saxton. I mean, I was probably expecting him to get the bat and the ball, maybe ground it into left or something, get the ball out of the infield, but I was not expecting that. How quickly things can turn for Ryan Bauer. Was looking for the 4th strikeout. Now he's just looking to get out of the inning, only having given up 2 runs, and there's still only 1 out.
So now with 1 down and 2 in, it'll be Jake Franks. First pitch strike from Bauer. Franks had the sacrifice bunt to Zach Ryan in the first inning that got Saxton up to second. Now the 0-1. Cut on and miss, and Bauer again ahead of a Monarch. It's 0-2. Something he's done extremely well tonight.
You got to get Saxton out, or Franks out here, though, because Braden Jones, you don't necessarily want to deal with, again, with only 1 out and a man on. You want to make sure that you've got 2 outs, because that is a great spot for a pitcher to work from.
1-2 pitch. Off speed. It's in there. He froze him for strike 3. 4th K for Bauer. And we've got 2 down in the top of the 3rd. That will bring the designated hitter Jones to the plate. He fell victim to the backwards K in the first.
Bauer already nearing his game high for pitches in an inning. Had 16 pitches in the first, 13 in the second. That's already his 16th here in this inning, so he's guaranteed to set a new game high.
Falls behind a ball and no strikes. to Jones and gets a top chopper to short. Summers fields at the back of the infield and fires in time. But the damage done by Luke Saxton, a 2-run home run, and the Monarchs are off and running as we go to the bottom of the third. Back here for the bottom of the third inning here at Jurgensen Park. Monarchs have a 2-0 lead over the Junior Jays on a 2-run home run to left field by Luke Saxton in the top of the third. Matthew Chandler back to work as he fires, and it hits Keegan Holmstrom, the 9-hitter, on the first pitch.
Well, Holmstrom, an on-base percentage this year of .357. And, I mean, I guess that's something you'll take if you're Prep, getting a guy on. And Chandler, who's been basically unhittable all day, finally starting to show some cracks.
So now Ryberg digs in. You just saw Holmstrom take one for the team. Sam was hit by 4 pitches last night in the loss to Burke as he takes low and away for ball 1.
And something to watch here is the base-stealing ability of Keegan Holmstrom. Actually started the year more so as a pinch runner than an actual guy in the batting rotation. Second on the team right now with 17 stolen bases. He's got to be in the back of Chandler's mind with a big lead from first, and there you go. There's the pickoff attempt.
Yep, you called it. After just one pitch, the move over to first base from Chandler, but Holmstrom back safely.
Yeah, the two guys for Prep on the field right now, Ryberg and Holmstrom, have combined for 37 stolen bases. And it is now 2-0 for Ryberg as well. And Ryberg, as we mentioned, great hitter with a .333 batting average. Has 23 walks on the year, as you mentioned, hit by 4 different pitches last night. So great at working the count and working pitchers. And these two on would be a nightmare for a pitcher.
Barreled up into center field for a base hit. Holmstrom will pump the brakes at second. And Sam Ryberg has things brewing for the Junior Jays. There are 2 on with nobody out for Parker Mooney.
It's exactly what you want. Ryberg with a nice little rip up the middle. And Holmstrom now advances to second. So you've got 2 of your fastest guys now coming on for Parker Mooney, who's got 26 hits on the year. As you mentioned in the pregame, nearly a .500 batting average, hitting .456. This is exactly what you want. No bunts this time for Parker Mooney. You can bet he's going to bring the bat all the way in. Oh, never mind.
Gets it down. It will slice foul. Smart move by the third baseman Vetter and the pitcher Chandler to let it go. Mooney undoubtedly would have reached had they picked it up.
Yeah, that would have loaded the bases with nobody out. So Monarchs kind of lucky that that ball went foul, because that could have been disastrous for their hopes. After taking a 2-0 lead on one of the best teams in the state, you definitely don't want to have the bases juiced for him with Elliot Peterson up to bat.
Mooney trying to extend a 9-game hit streak. He bunts again, but
he's popped up 2 bunts now. You got to be careful.
Yep, pushes it foul, and he's behind 0-2, so you can't bunt here. Parker Mooney, who has struck out just 8 times this season and just 4 times in his last 62 plate appearances, will try and grind one out here.
Definitely a really patient hitter. 11 walks to 8 strikeouts this year. Don't want to see the 9th, though, with 2 on, nobody out. You got to make sure you at least advance the runners here.
A good take. As it's low and away, 1 and 2.
Thank you. I have very good takes.
Another good take is that Parker Mooney had an electrifying Metro Conference tournament, went 7 for 9 and drove in 7 runs.
Even more electrifying game against Rockhurst. Oh!
That one bounces
That's exactly
away
what Prep needed.
to the backstop. Both runners will advance. The double play is out of order now, and it's 2 and 2.
Well, that's what you want, is you want your fastest guys working their way down the base paths. So Ryberg at second and Holmstrom at third. And at this point, I'm not sure if a bunt comes back into play for Mooney because you don't want to strike out trying to bunt. But certainly just an infield grounder scores 1. So that's not necessarily a bad thing for Parker Mooney here.
Chandler ready with the 2-2. His 35th pitch will be waited on as he steps off. Holmstrom on third. He was hit by a pitch. Ryberg on second. He singled to center. The 2-2 to Mooney. Outside again. He's worked the count full.
See you, buddy. See you now.
Count juiced, and this is where Parker Mooney is at his most dangerous. You got to throw a somewhat hittable pitch here if you're Chandler. You got to put it in the zone because you don't want to walk him and load the bases. But you don't want to make it too hittable. And he is just going to walk him.
Takes again. So from 0-2 to a walk, Chandler loses Parker Mooney, and the bases are loaded for the wrong guy. If you're the Monarchs, Elliot Peterson is coming to the plate.
15 extra base hits, 29 total hits, 25 RBIs on the year. The last guy the Monarchs won up, as you said, had Prep's only hit of the first inning, an infield single to third. But at this point for Peterson, you have to assume if you're the Monarchs that if he gets the bat on the ball, a run will score. So you got to make sure you can't let that happen.
Takes in the dirt. Good block by Zach Reyes behind the dish for ball 1.
That's now 5 straight balls thrown by Matthew Chandler, maybe starting to lose the control just a little bit. He's thrown 8 this inning.
1-0 to Peterson. Pulled into left field, a base hit.
Oh, that's going to score.
All the way to the corner.
That's going to score 3, I think.
In. Ryberg is in.
Oh, wow.
Away from his dad. Here he comes to the plate. It's a bases clearing double for Elliot Peterson. And the Junior Jays take a 3-2 lead in the third.
Well, it's the same spot. He hit that infield single I mentioned to. Hit it to the same spot. In this case, though, hit it a lot harder and clears the bases. Holmstrom, Ryberg, and Mooney all score. And after giving up 2 runs last inning, that is exactly the way Prep wanted this to go. Now takes the 3-2 lead with Grant Hatcher coming up. And the Monarchs, if they're not careful, could end up collapsing here.
The bunt is down, but the throw is in time for out number 1. That was Grant Hatcher at the dish. So a quick first out, but Peterson does scamper to third. He now has 28 runs batted in on the season and 13 doubles on the season, both of which extend the team lead.
And now on third with 1 out, a guy like Kobe Hatcher coming up. Kobe's been very successful with RBIs this year, 24, near tops on the team behind only guys like Mooney and Peterson.
First pitch, low for ball 1. Kobe Hatcher struck out swinging to lead off the second. The inning so far started with a Keegan Holmstrom hit by pitch, then a Sam Ryberg single, a Parker Mooney walk, as that one slapped foul, and then Peterson cleared him with a 3-run double to the left field corner.
Yeah, Matthew Chandler has almost completely lost control. He's thrown 9 balls this inning, and of the 5 pitches that weren't, 2 of them, or no, of the 6 now that weren't, 2 of them were hits, and the rest were fouled off. He hasn't had a true strike yet this inning.
Could use one here to punch out Hatcher. The 1-2 coming. Lifted into right field. Hit fairly well. DeMoro going back. That ball is gone. 2-run oppo shot for Kobe Hatcher. And the Junior Jays with a 5 spot in the third and a 3-run lead.
Well, there you go. What an inning this has turned into. Kobe Hatcher, his 4th extra base hit on the year. And we've now had 2 bases clearing shots and 3 batters. What an inning this is turning into for the Prep hitters. Here's Matthew Chandler's pitching stats for the inning. I've been talking about him, but it bears repeating. He's given up now 3 hits, walked 2, one of them on a hit by pitch, and allowed 4 foul balls. All the rest of his pitches have been outside the strike zone.
Still just 1 out in the inning as Summers steps in.
And that was on a sacrifice bunt.
Kobe Hatcher now 2 home runs on the season, 26 runs batted in. That's now his 7th multi-RBI game this year. It's now 2-0 on Summers.
Nobody warming up in the pen yet for the Monarchs, but I'd suggest that they do so fairly quickly here. Chandler now sitting at, I believe, almost 20 pitches this inning, which is by far a game high, and behind in this count at 1 and 2, or no, 2 and 1. Excuse me.
Yep, 2 and 1 to Summers. Trying to battle back, Matthew Chandler. Here's the pitch, laced foul to the right side, and it's back to 2 and 2. Grant Summers singled to second base on an infield hit in the 2nd. 2-2 inside, and the count is full. Wouldn't be totally surprised to see back-to-back homers here. Summers is a guy that can do it. He's popped 2 of them this year against Waverly on March 21st and Blue Springs on April 9th.
He's got
3-2 outside ball 4.
And this has just not been a great inning at all for Matthew Chandler. He's faced 7 batters. Just 1 of them has been retired, and that was Grant Hatcher on the sacrifice bunt. 4 of them have already come around to score. No, excuse me, 5 of them.
Pitcher's done.
And Summers,
Chandler's out.
had a really good first 2 innings, but the 3rd inning just fell apart, lost control, and you cannot afford to lose control against a team like the Junior Jays.
So now Jack Burke will slide over from shortstop to the pitcher's mound. Burke making his 9th appearance of the season. 6 innings pitched, 0-1 the record. He does have a save, but the ERA at 11.67. It's been a struggle.
That's very bad.
Him. Yeah, not what the Monarchs need, but wouldn't be a bad spot to turn around and try and keep Papio and La Vista in this game as things have gotten away from them here in the 3rd. The bases clearing double by Peterson, the 2-run home run by Kobe Hatcher, providing the offense for Prep.
So Chandler will end the day with 48 pitches. Did strike out 2. Went 2 1/3, but those 5 earned runs are not great.
So after the Summers walk, Prep has Zach Ryan, the catcher, due up, followed by Stessman and Holmstrom in the bottom of the order. Look at some of the previous outings this season for Burke. He pitched against 6th-ranked Lincoln Southwest during the doubleheader on April 1st through 2 innings pitched and gave up 3 earned runs. Was somewhat better against Papio South on April 14th, only giving up 1 earned run in a very brief outing. The Monarchs definitely need momentum to turn back in their favor, and it starts with the man on the mound. Zach Ryan about to step in, struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Prep 5 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. Monarchs 2 runs on the Saxton home run, 2 hits, no errors.
I have good baseball news for you, Tyler.
Is it about Miggy?
No, it is about the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, gosh.
They have walked off Air Force.
We're going to do this again. Air Force. All right.
It's a walk-off, okay?
So now Ryan gets ready to step in. We've definitely seen the least relatively warm weather conditions come into play tonight. Very different from some of the 45-degree overcast games we were doing in March. The ball is carrying tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Saxton's home run just seemed to keep drifting. The Hatcher just seemed off the bat it was just going to be at least a medium depth fly out. And then just kept going.
Yeah. So we've had 3 balls hit over the fence so far this game. Those are our first 3 home runs, and they've all happened in a span of about 4 or 5 batters.
Well, 2 home runs. Peterson got to the fence with the double.
Oh, yeah.
Runner takes off. Ball bounces away to the left of Reyes. And down to second base goes Summers on the first pitch. At shortstop now for Papio La Vista is Saxton. So he slides over from second.
So who's playing second?
That would be Jazan Emil. Double switch for the Monarchs. Here comes the 1-0 to Ryan. Cut on and tapped foul back to the Prep dugout. Count even now at 1-1 to the senior catcher.
Ryan did strike out his first time up. Struck out swinging, but batting 186 against a fresh pitcher, this is where you want to get your cuts in if you're Creighton Prep, because he hasn't had time to settle in and really get to his spots yet. If Bauer's able to crank one on, he might never get to his spots.
Pickoff try. It occurred as Emil was moving back to his position, so no chance to get Summers. Still 1-1. Jack Stessman is on deck for the Junior Jays. The 1-1.
Oh.
Inside on the off speed. Came very close to that inside corner, but home plate umpire doesn't give it to Burke, and it's 2-1.
Not a bad start here, though, for Jack Burke. He's done a good job with control, and a couple of his pitches have been outside, but they haven't exactly been, like, way outside. No cause for concern yet for Jack Burke. Ooh.
Big swing and a miss from Ryan. That one looked like it was one to hit. But instead of cutting a miss, and now 2-2. Ryan trying to find some way to get himself on base, bring Summers in for the 6th run of the inning.
Wind's starting to pick up just a little bit. You can see the flag in center starting to move a lot more than it was. It was like wrapped around the pole earlier.
2-2, swing and a miss. Ryan a strikeout victim for the second time. The throw down is in time from Reyes, and there are 2 down. Burke with a good start in his relief appearance.
And that's what you need. A 5-pitch strikeout for Jack Burke, giving him a little bit of confidence facing Jack Stessman, who's got an on-base percentage of .471. Stessman flew out to center to end the 2nd inning. He is hoping for a little bit of a different fate and keeping the 3rd alive. Called strike 1 there for Jack Burke, so he, after a couple of early balls, has seemed to figure it out, thrown 3 straight strikes.
So now the 0-1 to Stessman is outside corner, and it's 0-2. Stessman flew out to shallow center field to end the 2nd inning. Oh-2 pitch, bounces to the left side.
And they're saying Stessman swung, I think.
I guess so.
Did he?
Well, he ran down to first base, and I guess that's the ruling. And now they're on the corners with 2 down. Holmstrom coming to the plate. Just a couple sloppy plays from the Monarchs in this one. You can't have that against the number 1 team.
So that's
in the
a
state.
strikeout technically, but Stessman still goes to first?
Yeah. Strikeout and reached on a wild pitch. When it's going well, I suppose.
It's always funny to, like, look at the scorebook. Oh, yeah, he got a strikeout. He's on first, though.
The quirks of baseball as we see Burke step off. Stessman back easily.
And another quirk of baseball is that there's not going to be enough room on our scorebooks for this Keegan Holmstrom at bat. Every player for Creighton Prep has now come to the plate in this 3rd inning.
That one
Oh.
right through the legs of Reyes, and Stessman down to second base. Junior Jays are running wild on Papio here in the third.
It's the third wild pitch of the inning. This is turning into a serious problem for Jack Burke. Started off okay, but if he can't control it, much like Matthew Chandler couldn't control it, then Prep's going to light him up.
High chopper, that is foul, and a nice one-hand grab by head coach Pat Mooney over at third, even at 1-1 to Holmstrom.
And Summers is on third. I forgot about that. He's still just kind of sitting there chilling after he got on the walk.
Holmstrom, who was hit by a pitch and scored in the earlier part of this third inning, which has lasted a while. He
High
chases
cut
it
there.
high, and it's 1-2.
And that is what you like to see from Keegan Holmstrom, though. You want to see the aggressiveness. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, but he's also got 3 doubles on the year. So when he hits the ball, you know it's going to go a distance.
1-2 on the way from Burke. It is inside. 2-2. Boy, Holmstrom crowds that plate. Looks like it's going to hit him, but then you realize it's almost a strike.
Yeah, he's right on the edge of that batter's box. Almost looming over the plate.
Now the 2-2. In the dirt again. Blocked that time by Reyes. And it runs full at 3-2. Junior Jays would have no issue with a walk in this situation, especially with the top of the order, Sam Ryberg, coming up. Burke does not want to lose him, however. Had him ahead 1-2. Now the 3-2 pitch. Pulled foul. Watch out in that Prep dugout. Still full. Summers at third. He walked with 1 down. Stessman at second. He struck out but reached on a wild pitch. Now the 3-2. Pulled down the left field line, but foul.
That's going to be a souvenir for the Prep bullpen.
Unfortunately, it hits the rocks and bounds back onto the field. So
No.
yeah. Hate to see it. Holmstrom doesn't mind, though. He stays alive in this AB. This Prep does have a right-hander warming up in the pen. Can't tell who it is just yet. Ryan Bauer has kept the pitch count relatively low so far in this one, despite giving up the 2-run home run in the top of the third. Now another 3-2, inside ball 4. Holmstrom works the walk. He's on for the second time in the inning, and they're loaded up for Ryberg. So, Brendan, we already saw earlier this year in the second game of the season against Central, Prep had 2 bases clearing doubles in the same inning. Sam Ryberg could do it again here.
Well, you might as well. Ryberg, 8 extra base hits on the year, as we've mentioned. Great at getting on base, and with the bases this juice for him, might as well take a crack at it.
Takes a first pitch outside from Burke. Ryberg is 1 for 2, flew out in the first, and ripped a single back into center.
It's already 17 pitches for Jack Burke in the inning. It's not good.
The 1-0 is taken, and it's low. So Ryberg gets ahead now. 2 balls, no strikes.
Hitters count.
See if he gets the green light. Summers at third, Summers at third, Stessman at second, and Holmstrom at first. Now the 2-0. Lifted up to the left side and foul.
It could go foul.
Could go onto the track over there. Somebody from the Prep dugout will have to go chase it down.
Going to get pretty muddy if it's on the track.
Yeah, it has been raining all day. Was it muddy during practice today?
Oh, it wasn't awful. It wasn't awful.
Here comes the 2-1.
3-1.
Yep, in the dirt again. Reyes has done well to block most of these. A couple have gotten away, but considering how many pitches have been down and in the dirt in this third inning, he's done all right, I'd say.
3-1 count now for Ryberg. 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a fly out to center, but if he can get his bat on this one, this might blow the game wide open.
Here it comes. Outside.
Oh!
Bit of a generous call, but the count is full 3-2.
Yeah, Papio kind of deserves a generous call. This inning has been filled with Prep batters, and maybe the umps just want to sit down a bit. Been standing there for a long time. This is now, I believe, the 11th batter for Prep in the inning.
Ryberg wants him to keep standing there. The
Everybody
3-2
going.
runners go.
Oh, that's a wild
And
pitch.
the walk won't make a difference as Summers will come in anyway on the walk. And it's now 6-2 Junior Jays as Ryberg is on for the second time in the inning.
We'll bring up second baseman,
Huh.
number 1.
So now Grant Summers, who got on a pitcher ago, finally scores.
Parker Mooney walked earlier in the inning. He's
Scored a run.
He's 0 for 1. As he also popped out to first on a bunt.
Bases juiced for him, though.
First pitch to him.
Oh,
Is lined
baby.
right center field. That will split the gap. All the way to the warning track. 2 runs are in. They
Third
will
one's gonna get
wave
here.
Ryberg around. He is safe with no contest. And I called it a couple batters ago. It's 2 bases clearing doubles in the inning, and the Junior Jays have busted it wide open. 9-2 in the third.
Yeah, Holmstrom's second run of the inning. So Parker Mooney picks a nice time to get his 6th extra base hit of the year. Doubles into the right center gap. And 3 ribbies for him. And now up comes the other guy who had 3 ribbies in this third inning, in Elliot Peterson.
Peterson ripped that bases clearing double down the left field line with nobody out to get the Junior Jays scoring started. Give them a 3-2 lead. As he takes a first pitch strike. Prep with 9 runs, 6 hits, 1 error now in the ball game.
All in this, 4 hits, all 9 runs are in this inning. Everybody scored, I believe, except for Grant Hatcher, who had the sacrifice bunt, and Zach Ryan, who struck out.
0-1. Line off the foot of the pitcher. Hopefully Burke's okay. It'll squeak into right field.
And that's going to score Mooney.
Will score to make it 10-2. My goodness. Let's check on Burke. He's limping there. Caught him right on the foot as Peterson hit a screaming line drive.
Would have probably scored Mooney either way, but took a really bad hop, and now Burke is walking around trying to walk it off a little bit. I do not know if he'll be able to.
Everybody out to look at him.
Thankfully
Thankfully, it didn't go down or anything. You always have your heart
he
skip a beat when the pitcher gets drilled like that.
He's able to stay on his feet, though. He jogged all the way almost to the catcher after that ball hit him. So he's definitely still on his feet. And how about the season that Elliot Peterson's having? That is now 29 RBIs for him. He's 3 of 3 on the day.
And he's driven in runs in 2 separate occasions in the inning. Don't see that very often, but the season Peterson's having, not too much of a surprise, as they'll give Burke a few pitches to get back in the flow and make sure everything's feeling all right.
Can I interest you in some Kevin Durant slander?
Kevin Durant slander.
In the Celtic series, he's currently 13 for 39.
It's a lot of shots, not a ton of makes.
Currently, the Celtics lead by 5 with 5:23 to go, despite the fact that
Ball 1 to Hatcher.
Nets were up 14 at one point in the second quarter. That's fun.
Peterson's on first. He singled in Mooney, still 2 down. As that one's outside to make it 2 balls, no strikes. Brendan, I might just graduate college by the time this inning's over. It's been an eternity. Prep bringing in 10 runs. We saw Papillion.
This is 26 pitches for Jack Burke.
We saw Papillion La Vista score 2 in the top of the third, and it felt like, all right, we might have potential upset brewing here at Jurgensen, and then the onslaught from Creighton Prep as Hatcher's had 3-0.
Well, it just feels like the Monarchs pitchers, both Chandler and then Burt, kind of lost control for a little bit. Either the balls were outside or they were just perfectly placed for the Prep hitters, and Prep's been taking advantage of them all night. I mean, that's one of the better pitches of the inning there for Jack Burke, and that'll make the count 3-1.
Hatcher steps out for a moment. He's 0 for 1, grounded into a fielder's choice in the first, and had a sac bunt earlier in the third. That one chopped.
Oh!
And Hatcher is safe, but now Peterson's in a hot
we got a rundown
between second and third, and they will tag him out. And the inning mercifully comes to a conclusion for Papio La Vista. Prep scores 10 in the bottom of the third. Their lead is 8. Back for the top of the fourth here at Jurgensen Park. Junior Jays 10-2, now the lead after a 10-run bottom of the third inning. Ryan Bauer back to work with run support aplenty, as that one is wide for ball one to Tanner Apgar, the first baseman.
Well, taking advantage of the run support, I suppose. Can't really fault him for that. Got a lot longer leash now than he did at the top of the third.
Hopefully the arm's not too cold after waiting that long between innings, but fires a strike to even it up at 1-1. Apgar struck out swinging to end the top of the first. And he gets it to 2-1 as Bauer misses low and away.
Bauer does like to paint those corners, but the Monarchs have become a lot more patient with those pitches as the game has gone on. They're far less likely to swing at them now than they were in the first.
Swings at that one as he goes with the high heat, and it's 2-2. Bauer appears well on track to improve his pitching record to 4-0, unless something chaotic happens with this Papio La Vista offense.
And Tyler, real quick, we
got him looking. Bauer with a strikeout of Apgar, one down in the fourth.
It's number 5, his third backwards K of the day.
Well, head coach Pat Mooney's up here. We've got 2 mics and 3 people. How do we want to do this?
I'll take a break. You can interview him. Coach, welcome on to the show again. Team's certainly performing pretty well.
All right. Unfortunately, we don't have a camera on him. I know head coach Pat Mooney wants all the attention and paparazzi here, but hey, we've got him. One down here in the fourth as Jack Burke steps in and takes a strike. So, Coach, thoughts on the game so far? Big third inning for your Junior Jays.
Yeah, that was a big third inning. That left-hander was pretty tough on us right away. We seemed to get through him, and he left some balls over the middle of the plate, forced that inning. We got some runs out of it.
Ground out back to Bauer. Burke is retired. O'Brien will step in with 2 down. And just talk about that Metro Conference tournament as well. Offense just absolutely exploded. The last 2 games barely even contested. 13-3 over Bellevue West, 18-0 over third-ranked Elkhorn South. How proud of your team were you after that one?
That was good. We were really happy the way we swung it, and then even better, Jack Everett threw his tail off in one of those games.
Yep.
That was really nice. he just dominated. And, that's Elkhorn South is one of the better hitting teams in the state, and he just manhandled them. That was beautiful.
Absolutely. So now 1-1. Bauer facing Isaiah O'Brien, who struck out swinging back in the second. Talked about the offense. What are you seeing from your starting pitcher, Ryan Bauer? Getting a lot of swings and misses tonight.
Yeah, Ryan's doing a great job mixing it up. I mean, if he can get that leadoff batter on, we'll be all right because he's got both hits for him. Took him out of the yard, and that guy number 22. He's pretty dynamite. But Ryan's doing a nice job getting. He does get a lot of swing and misses.
And there's another one to end the fourth inning. 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Bauer. We'll be right back for the bottom of the fourth. Creighton Prep looking to make it an even wider margin here at Jurgensen Park. Back here for the bottom of the fourth, Creighton Prep leads Papio by 8 with Jack Burke back on the mound for the Monarchs. And Kobe Hatcher stepping in. He provided some fireworks in the bottom of the third inning, drilling a 2-run shot over the right field fence. That made it a 5-2 game as he bunts on the first pitch and it bounces foul. Tyler Rudy and Brendan Prizeman here on the CP Sports Network. Brendan, between innings, suggesting a lot of conversation topics. We'll probably need some if this continues to be as wide of a margin as Creighton Prep offense out in full force tonight. NBA playoffs, he showed me the Nets collapsing again to the Celtics, although your team, the Clippers, aren't in it.
Yeah, well, everybody's hurt. We have an excuse. The Nets don't.
1-1 on Hatcher.
And let's see, Tyler, how's your NBA team doing? Oh, that's right. You don't have one.
I've got an MLB team. My Royals are up 2-0 now.
On who?
Minnesota.
Ooh, they're up on the Twins, guys. Stop the presses.
Well, the thing that makes me most happy about that game is that the Royals 5-starter Daniel Lynch has thrown 5 scoreless innings.
How is Bobby Witt Jr., who you have said should win Gold Glove, Rookie of the Year, and MVP, doing?
0 for 2, batting.
That's what I figured.
Batting 132 now in the season.
That's what I figured, Tyler. Hey, Gold Glove's still in play though, as long as he's playing defense well.
It easily is.
You know who the gold? You know who a defensive award is not in play for? The Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, that's a rip. Watch out.
Oh boy.
Look at that thing bounce all the way out into right field on the ricochet. That was shot right at the Papio dugout, and it looks like everybody's okay there. Fortunately, with the Monarchs fielding defensively, there's not a lot of personnel in there.
You know who's not okay? The Air Force Academy baseball team, who just got walked off by the Texas Longhorns.
We're going to do this the rest of the night?
Why not, Tyler? Why not?
Yeah, as my cameraman Alex Teachin is pointing out, Brendan, you're going to Northwestern.
And
how long are you going to have these?
He's wearing a Gonzaga shirt, or he was wearing a Gonzaga shirt earlier. I don't know where it is.
His brother goes there. This is sky high into left field.
It could drop into the. Oh, he dropped it!
It does. Wow. So Hatcher will get to second base.
Can we credit him with a double?
I don't know.
No,
That's
no.
an interesting play.
I think that would that be an error?
Hold on. Saxton. I'm not sure why Saxton had that ball. Normally the outfielder, when he's there, takes priority over the shortstop, but O'Brien let Saxton take it, and then he didn't take it.
I think you got to give an E6 there, right?
It is an E6.
Yeah.
So Hatcher is on second base, and now Summers digs in. Singled in the second inning, walked and scored in the third.
Jay Wright retired.
Talk about that as well. That might shake things up a little bit in the Big East. Villanova head coach taking him on a deep run again this year, but according to sources, that's it.
I mean, he's released a statement too, so I think it's well official by now. But it's just kind of crazy to think about because, like, when I saw the press release, like 60-year-old Jay Wright, I was like, 60? Because I figured he was either way older or way younger than that. Runner goes. He's going to get there.
And he's safe.
Looking a lot better than the Albert Pujols steal attempt from a couple of days ago.
Yeah, that was weird. He's not a guy. It wasn't even a steal attempt. He went before
he just
the pitcher
like started
even threw.
walking.
Yeah, and the pitcher threw it over to third. It was a bit of a closer play than I expected, but out nonetheless. Hatcher, however, safe, and it's 2-0 on Summers.
Man on third now, nobody down. First stolen base of the day for Prep, which is surprising. Normally they're a really good base-stealing team. This game, though, there's just been so many opportunities to get hits they haven't had to. And now a 3-0 count for Grant Summers, who's reached base twice already, once on an infield single and then once on a ball.
For Hatcher, that was stolen base number 12 on the season.
Kevin Durant is 0 of 9 in the second half. More like Kevin Durkant.
He should team up with Westbrook.
Hey, they did! Wonder whatever happened to that team. I'm sure they made at least 2 finals, right? No, they did not.
Late night Brendan Prizeman, ladies and gentlemen. That one is sent into deep
Go,
right center
baby.
by Summers. It's
Oh,
up
off
against
the wall.
on 2 bounces. Hatcher can walk to the
He's
plate.
going to go 3.
Summers wants a triple.
He's going to get it.
He's in there.
Ooh.
RBI 3-bagger for Grant Summers, and the Junior Jays lead by 9. The balls just keep on flying for Creighton Prep.
Excuse me?
That triple by Summers. For the RBI will bring up number 9.
So RBI triple for Summers. 11-2 lead for Creighton Prep. Zach Ryan to the plate now.
And that's already 10 pitches in the inning for Jack Burke. He had 29 to close out the third, so already 39 total pitches for Jack Burke. Ooh, what are they going to call that? Ball?
Yep.
Ryan walking all the way back to the... Oh, it looks like the ump might have gotten either the bat or the ball, I think, might have deflected off the umpire's face mask. Because he's coming into conference with Mooney, and the second base ump, trainer for Prep, is coming out.
Looks
that's-
like everything's back in order.
And that's something that's almost as scary as when the single from Elliot Peterson ricocheted off Burke's foot earlier, because, like the umpire, that face mask is not going to do you a lot of good if a ball or a bat comes screaming in. So, looks like he is okay, though, and play will resume with a 1-0 count.
Went over to Ryan. Check swing. He went 1-1.
Tyler, you got any plans for prom?
Don't know yet.
Are you
Don't know
going?
yet. Also don't know yet.
How do you not know if you're going yet? It's your senior prom, man.
It's a week and a half away. We'll see. Here's the 1-1. Ryan barrels it. Left
That's gonna
center
drop.
field. That's down. It's a 10-run game. And Ryan will make a wide turn and go back to first.
He thought about the double, though.
Summers comes in to score. It's 12-2.
And with that, 8 different players have reached base for Prep
Brings up number 5, Jack Stessman.
as Ryan adds an RBI to his season totals.
For the catcher, number 11.
That'll make it 9 on the year. And Ryan will be replaced on the base paths by Thomas Lydon, a courtesy runner, who also pitches a little bit.
Papio will make a pitching change. We'll take a quick break. Junior Jay's up by 10 here in the fourth. Bradley Richardson will pinch hit for the Junior Jays. Thomas Lydon, the courtesy runner at first, and Aiden Baki is the new pitcher for Papio.
So Richardson's taking over for Stessman, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he grounds into a double play.
Oh, I
5-4-3.
Tanner Apgar dropped the ball there.
Runner staying at first. And he'll have to go back to the dugout. So Richardson grounds into the double play. Questionable one at that, and Holmstrom will step in. First pitch from Baki is in there on the outside for strike one. Reminder with the NSAA rules, the Junior Jays hold this 10-run lead through the top of the fifth inning. The game is over by mercy rule as the 0-1 sails up and in, 1-1.
Well, it certainly wasn't a great outing for Jack Burke. Only pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 hits, 2 walks, gave up 7 runs, all 7 earned, and didn't strike out a single batter. And
down the line, fair ball.
Oh.
Holmstrom will have a double. That goes all the way into the corner, and Holmstrom is not going to stop. On his way to third and safe. A triple for Keegan Holmstrom with 2 outs.
That's the second of the inning for the Junior Jays.
Now we'll see Mitchell Collins pinch hit for Sam Ryberg.
And Tyler, you know what the craziest part of Jack Burke's 2/3 of an inning was?
What's that?
It took him 42 pitches to get 2 outs.
And that kind of night.
Certainly has been that kind of night for the Junior Jays. Been that kind of night for the Monarchs as well.
Mitchell Collins takes ball 1. He's had 10 ABs this year. Recorded a hit in 1 of them for a 100 average. He's driven in 4 runs, however. Chance to pick up
And he's
his 5th.
pretty good at getting on base, too. 3 walks on the year as well.
1-0 to Collins is up. 2 balls, no strikes. Prep still does have Parker Mooney on deck, so at least that part of the original batting order is still intact.
Although Mooney might want to take a seat as well. 1 of 2 with a 3-run double in the 4th. Oh!
Left field
That's gonna
hit fairly well, but the catch is made, and the inning is over. Creighton Prep tacks on 2 more. Their lead is 12-2 as we go to the 5th. Prep looking to close it out when we come back.
1 error.
Welcome back, top of the 5th inning. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Junior Jays. Doubleheader with Kearney at home tomorrow afternoon. Then Bennington comes in on Friday, followed by Seattle Prep for a Friday night, Saturday morning doubleheader. Junior Jays are 6-1 against out-of-state competition. As Ryan Bauer's first pitch, low and away for ball 1. Odds are well in his favor for a victory with 10-run lead. He fires outside, 2 balls, no strikes.
it'd certainly be pretty difficult for him to blow this lead with the way he's been pitching. Only given up, by my count, 2 hits and allowed just 3 base runners, one of them on an error.
Foul ball makes it 2-1. This is Zach Reyes, the catcher, at the plate. Flew out to center in the 2nd, so he's 0 for 1.
And the best part is that this is one of Bauer's shortest outings of the year. He's only at 60 pitches right now. That makes it 61.
He gets the count back to 2-2.
Can he get the 7th strikeout of the night here?
Yes, he can. Ball gets away for a moment, but Ryan's up with the throw to complete the strikeout, 1 down. And that's big. We just saw the schedule. A lot of games coming up in a short period of time for the Junior Jays. Ryan Bauer is saving the bullpen and then some here tonight with this long outing.
And you could argue he's saving his own arm, too, because you're obviously not going to have him pitch this weekend, but maybe like by next Thursday, if you need a guy, he'll still theoretically be fresh enough that he could be called on short notice.
Prep does have Miller North on Tuesday in a makeup game after the weekend contests, as that swung on a miss for strike 1. Jackson Vetter, the third baseman, who reached on an error and scored in the 3rd. One from Bauer, low and away. 1-1.
Vetter, one of the few guys to actually reach. The only other Monarch to reach base was Luke Saxon, who had an infield single in the 1st and then a home run to left center in the 3rd. Other than that, the bases have been empty. Just a pearl of a game tonight from Ryan Bauer. Really, there's not much more you can say. He's been almost untouchable.
trying to improve his record to 4-0 as he falls behind 3-1. Bauer also extending his streak, several streaks. Once again, he pitches at least 4 innings and at least up to this point has allowed no more than 3 earned runs. It'll be his 5th consecutive start doing so.
Ooh.
As he walks Vetter.
It's the first walk of the game.
Bauer has also struck out 4 batters or more for the 5th consecutive time.
And now Dominic DeMauro, who last batted in the 2nd inning, he popped out to, I believe, 3rd base. Kobe Hatcher, I think he was trying a bunt after Vetter reached base in that 2nd inning.
First pitch strike to DeMauro, the right fielder. Creighton Prep would love Bauer to keep the ball down and potentially force a game-ending double play. Instead, he misses just off the plate, and it's 1-1. Papio and La Vista, after tonight, will wait until Monday for their next contest. It'll be against Class B 7th-ranked Elkhorn, then at Omaha Central on Tuesday, Omaha Northwest at home next Wednesday, the 27th. As this is slapped into center field, Holmstrom is there. He makes the catch, 2 down. And the Monarchs are down to their final chance here with Saxton, the 2-for-2 man, coming to the plate.
Well, if he can't keep this rally alive, nobody can. It's now the 50th strike for Ryan Bauer.
First pitch to Saxton is in there for strike 1. Vetter at first base. He walked with 1 out. Again, by NSAA rules, if Bauer records the out here with the 10-run lead still intact, the game will be over. Here's the 0-1.
Nope.
Inside, 1-1, and the runner takes off. Vetter is in there as Ryan's throw is just a bit late. Count now 1-1 against the Monarchs' second baseman. Hit a 2-run home run to left field in the 3rd inning, and that was the last time Papio saw the lead.
1-1 now, and you can see that Saxton's definitely ready to crank one to left again. Got his left foot much farther back in the batter's box than his right. He's got his body open toward that left center gap, and he is definitely looking to hit one hard in that direction.
He's fallen behind 1-2. Ryan Bauer looking to close the door. His pitch swung on and missed, and the game's over. Ryan Bauer finishes the job. The Junior Jays improve to 18-4 with a 12-2 victory over the Papillion La Vista Monarchs, and the number 1 team in Class A on fire offensively once again.
Yeah, just a great performance from everybody involved, especially Ryan Bauer. That was one of the longest innings of the game for him, but he still pitched incredibly well. Only gave up 2 hits, both of those to Luke Saxton. Only allowed 2 other base runners, 1 walk, 1 error. Just an absolutely incredible performance from Bauer. And then on offense, how about Elliot Peterson going 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs? Another incredible hitting performance from him. Incredible hitting performance for all the Junior Jays. Grant Summers went 2 of 2 with a single, a triple, and then a walk. So nothing to complain about here for the number 1 Junior Jays. And a win like this bodes well for continued wins as well. As you mentioned, the doubleheader tomorrow. But the season's starting to wind down for the Junior Jays. Certainly looking like the world beaters we thought they would be.
12-2 victory on this Wednesday night over Papillion La Vista. Creighton Prep to 18-4. Papio drops to 5-12. That'll do it from Jurgensen Park. For Brendan Preisman, Mike Knockenauer Jr., Alex Tejan, and our whole Creighton Prep Sports Network crew, Tyler Reedy saying thank you so much for joining us here tonight, and have a great rest of your week.